Are you tired of the same old dips that you always make for your vegetable tray? Well, I have something really special for you today. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today's recipe could not be any easier, let me tell you. But it's going to help if you have a stand mixer like I do here. This is a KitchenAid. Any brand will work though. You can make it with a hand mixer, but it's gonna take a little bit longer, and you are gonna wanna have a nice big deep bowl so that when you're mixing the cheese, it doesn't fly all over the place, okay? All right, so let me talk about the ingredients and how this dip came to be, because it is so delicious, and it happened just by accident. I was eating low carb, I still am when I can, and I wanted a cheese dip for veggies. And I don't like pimento cheese, and I don't like store-bought dips or cheeses or anything like that. So I thought, well, let me throw some ingredients that I have on hand into the mixing bowl, and oh my goodness, it is so delicious. So I had to share it with you. You're going to absolutely love it. And you can alter the ingredients to better suit your taste. So the method will stay the same, and you can change up the ingredients. And I'll go through that as we start to add them in. The first thing you want is 8 ounces of a sharp cheddar cheese that is grated finely. This is about 2 cups. And I just bought it in the bag because that's what I used when I made the recipe. So that's what I'm using now. So you don't have to freshly grate it, but you absolutely can. You do want to take the cheese out about an hour before you start mixing it, just to let it warm up. It's going to help it to mix up and become a smooth dip a little bit easier. You want your paddle attachment on your mixer and lower it down. Make sure you have it locked into place and put it on low speed. So what we're doing now is mixing the cheese on a low speed to kind of break it up, soften it up, and get it ready to incorporate with all the other ingredients. Because this is something you can dip your vegetables in or spread on crackers. It's super smooth, oh my gosh, and super delicious. You'll see it start to clump up a little bit. That's perfectly normal. Just keep going. When you can no longer identify the individual strands of cheese, we're ready to bump that speed up. All right, that looks good. Now we're gonna go up to high speed. All right, that looks good. So when a lot of it is sticking to the paddle and it's kind of all clumped up, we're ready to add in the cream cheese. This is 4 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. You definitely want it to be room temperature so it also incorporates. At this point, we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of butter as well. The butter is optional. I've made the dip without it, but I thought it had a better texture with it. And of course, butter makes everything better, right? Now go back on low speed. And you can advance to medium. And mix, mix, mix. If you see the cream cheese kind of sticking to the sides, just scrape it down. And now go on high speed. Once it's all incorporated and you can no longer see any big pieces of that cheddar cheese, then we're gonna add in a little bit of roasted red pepper juice. I bought these in a jar. You can get them in the condiment aisle of your grocery store, and you're gonna use a 1/4 cup of the roasted red peppers and 1 to 2 tablespoons of the juice. And I like to have the mixer running when I put in the juice, and I put in 1 tablespoon at a time because I want to judge the consistency. Now you could omit the juice if you wanted a really thick cheese spread, but I like it to be thin enough that I can dip my vegetables in it, but thick enough that it spreads nicely on a cracker. Scrape down the sides of the bowl, and that way you can kind of get an idea of the consistency. I'm going to put in the rest of the red pepper juice. So I used a total of 2 tablespoons, and I will put in the roasted red peppers next. Medium speed. No need to chop them. Let the mixer chop them up and mix them in, and it works perfectly. That looks good. Now I like to take it up to high speed. Perfection. Now for the final touch, totally optional because we are pretty much done. You do not have to add this last ingredient, but I happen to love bacon. And bacon and cheddar cheese and roasted red peppers go so nicely together. So I add in half of a cup of homemade bacon bits and just go on low speed until they're incorporated. All done. And it's a pretty dip too. All right, take your mixing bowl off here, and there's your dip. Put it into whatever you're gonna serve it in. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. My bowl is a little small here. It's like I'm making an ice cream sundae. So obviously, if I was serving this, I would not have it filled up like that, obviously. It makes about 2 cups of the cheese dip, and it's gorgeous, and it's delicious on cucumber. Let me make sure I get some bacon in here. It's good on cucumber, it's good on celery, it's good on carrots, and it's good on crackers. It's the best. Oh my gosh. Now, when it's refrigerated, which obviously you do need to keep it in the refrigerator before serving, it does get a little harder. So make sure that you either bring it out about 30 minutes before you're gonna serve it, or you can put it back in your stand mixer and whip it up on low speed until it warms up.